Okay, so today we're going to talk about contribution per unit and break-even analysis. So, to calculate our contribution per unit, it is our sales price less any variable costs. These can be labor, materials, or even variable overheads, but not any of our fixed costs. So, I mean, you could probably do this in your head, but what's our contribution per unit in this example? Well, it's our sales price of £10 minus our variable costs of £5. Contribution per unit of £5. Now, we next want to work out our break-even point in units. So how many units would we have to sell to break even if we had fixed costs of £50,000? Okay, I essentially make £5 of selling every unit. So how many units will I need to sell to make £50,000? Well, I simply divide my fixed costs by my contribution per unit. Okay, so that's our break-even point in units. Now, sometimes the question will say, what is the break-even revenue? It sounds more complicated, but it really isn't. It's just the break-even point, 10,000 units, times the selling price of £10. So our break-even revenue is £100,000. If we sold £100,000 worth of units, we would make no profit and no loss. Okay? Another way of working out the break-even revenue, a slightly fancy way of doing it, is you can do the fixed costs of £50,000 divided by the contribution to sales ratio. So that's the CS ratio. So how am I going to work that out? Well, it's exactly what it says. It's the contribution divided by sales. So here it's half. That makes sense, doesn't it? I divided by 10. So let's see if this works. We're going to do fixed cost divided by our contribution to sales ratio, and hopefully it's going to come out with £100,000. Fixed costs divided by contribution to sales ratio, and we're happy. £100,000. Okay, good stuff. Now we're told that we want to make a desired profit of 20 grand. That's what management says. They want to cover the fixed costs, and they also want to make a profit of 20 grand. Well, here we just add them together. Here I'm going to use, if you're not familiar with Excel, just go up here and do auto sum, and then you just make sure that covers the amounts that you want to add up. Press the return key. £70,000. So that's how how much money we need to actually make. We've got to make £50,000 to cover our fixed costs, and then we've got to make £20,000 to cover our desired profit. And we do the exact same formula we did before. We just simply divide this is almost our new fixed costs, by our contribution per unit. So now in units, we need to sell 14,000 units to make a profit of 20k. Okay? So that's how many units we need to sell there. So it's next to 4,000. 4,000 times 5 is going to be that 20,000. Okay? Now we're told that we actually produced and sold 12,000 units. So what is our margin of safety? Well, we had to sell 10,000 units just to break even. But we've sold 12,000. So the margin of safety is the difference between what we sold and what we needed to sell to break even. So that minus that, 2,000 units is our margin of safety. we're in the clear there. If we, with those 2,000, that's all profit. But they might want it expressed as a percentage. So what is that as a percentage of the units we actually produced and sold? Well, that's simply 2,000 divided by the 12,000 we actually sold. Not very attractive. There's lots of ugly figures, so let's just put that to 2 decimal places. Expressed as a percentage. Okay, that is pretty more or less everything you need to know about break-even analysis, margin of safety, contribution per unit, break-even revenue. Okay, thank you.